Okay, everybody, thanks for joining. We'll go ahead and get started. It looks like we're all here. Again, my name is Bonnie McMahon. I'm with EVOSIS, and today's topic for our webcast is using health and safety on HCM Cloud to help you with COVID. So I just introduced myself, but my colleague Lila Ravi is on the line with me as well, and she's got many years of HCM experience, particularly around Oracle HCM, and she'll be delivering most of the presentation today. For those of you who are not aware, let me go over the agenda. We'll be talking, like I said, about health and safety on Oracle HCM Cloud, particularly around COVID, and how you can capture, monitor those incidents, as well as do some OSHA reporting. And for those of you who are not familiar with us, let me just give you the high-level 30-second overview. Here at EVOSIS Global, we're proud to have well over 1,200 customers across the globe, and a lot of those, 1,000 of them are on Oracle Cloud. We operate in over 30 countries around the world, and Gartner has recognized us as being a niche player in the Magic Quadrant for 2019 and 2020. We employ, and I do use the word employ, over 1,500 Oracle certified experienced consultants, and we operate across all 8 Oracle Cloud pillars. Those include ERP, EPM, as well as HCM. And you'll notice down here, we were Oracle's HCM Global Partner of the Year last year, and that's something we are super proud of. Next slide, Lila. Again, let's just talk about a little bit about our awards. We don't say this to brag, but it is important to know when you do work with a partner, one that has won many awards over a period of time is probably a good partner to work with. You can see we've won awards at Open World and around the world, Kenya, Denmark, etc. So what makes EVOSIS a little bit different than other SIs out in the Oracle ecosystem? One is that we do all of our engagements on fixed price. 2, we consider ourselves a much more boutique player, meaning that's an alternative to Big Four SI partnerships. And 3, we have some of the most recognized HCM experts out in the partner ecosystem across the world. And we do provide all of our customers with managed service options as well. And we also provide value-based delivery. And what does that mean? That means we actually go ahead and if you have a certain KPI you're trying to hit with the software, we're going to work with you and we're going to tie our contract back to those KPIs that you deem important to your organization. And that's something very few people do out in the partnership world. And with that, I think now I'm going to pass it over to Lila. Lila, I'll let you take it from here. I'll also, before you get started, Lila, I want to ask everyone to go ahead and use their chat or their question icon on your toolbar to ask any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Bonnie. And so I don't know, it seems like we had a little bit of glitchiness. We're going to hope that that goes away. I also am going to try to do most of this live on an Oracle demo site. So we'll see how that goes as well. I did create slides just in case demo doesn't work for us today, and certainly so we can send you a copy of the presentation. But the intention will be to utilize a live environment. So let's talk about health and safety. In normal times, pre-COVID and post-COVID world, there are organizations that fall under OSHA compliance. There's 4 major categories: general, industrial, manufacturing are a couple of those. And so those types of organizations that fall under OSHA's mandate, they need to be regularly monitoring and tracking any safety incidents. And there's reporting that is required to the government to let them know when they've had safety issues and how those have been resolved, because the purpose of OSHA, helping to ensure that workplaces are safe for employees, that they have a relatively safe environment, and we're not putting workers in harm's way. It also gives HR an opportunity to make sure that the right things are happening in the workplace, or to work with the different groups to ensure that proper safety measures are put in place. But now with COVID, all organizations need to be tracking if anybody is to contract COVID at work, then they need to note who that was, how it happened. Also, there's a general perception or expectation that if you're asking people to come back into the workplace, that you're making it safe for them, so that you have proper cleaning procedures in place, that you have put up barriers so that there's less spread of any airborne germs that might be out there, the things that would help an employee to feel safer and would help to reduce any possible contamination in the workplace. And the final step of that is doing some kind of daily monitoring. So checking in with employees at the start of the day. Are they experiencing any potential symptoms? And if they are, encouraging them not to come into the workplace, but instead to go get tested, work from home until they've confirmed that they are indeed safe to be in the workplace. So the health and safety module, primary purpose, giving you that ability to track and report on OSHA related incidents. And even if you're not an OSHA required organization, you still may want to track incidents in the workplace, and it provides you a facility for doing that. From a compliance standpoint, if you are under the confines of OSHA, then you certainly need to be able to provide a facility for doing the tracking. From a liability perspective, if something were to happen, you would want to be able to demonstrate you took every step you could to be informed about issues and to take action on issues. And certainly this module provides you that kind of documentation that you took action whenever something was reported. You can document all the steps that occurred and demonstrate that you were doing everything possible to keep the workplace safe. And finally, there's that mandatory reporting if you're an organization that does fall under OSHA, and the module provides you that reporting capability. So just to show you, and listen, we're about to go into Oracle system, but at a high level here. So if you're a health and safety manager, you can reopen an incident or delete incidents. If you're an employee, you can create and manage your incidents. And if you're somebody implementing, you can find the questionnaires that are available. So when an incident occurs, and if you want to ask certain questions to better understand what the incident was, what happened, what were the conditions, these are the types of questionnaires that you'd want to create so that you get the proper information around the incident and can take the appropriate steps to correct the workplace. You can have alerts around when a new incident is created, if actions are past due, to make sure that incidents are being followed up on and unsafe conditions are being resolved. So let me jump out of here. And assuming, oh yes, we are still up in Oracle. So this is our Oracle environment. For those of you that have seen demo before, Curtis is a popular person to use. Curtis has a lot of permissions and can serve in a lot of different roles. So that's the reason we're using Curtis for demonstration purposes today. And here on our self-service dashboard, so we're going in as employee self-service, and down here at the bottom is where we have report virus and safety incidents. And so this list of incidents, you have the opportunity to decide what types of incidents do you want your employees to report. You can reduce this list, you can add to this list. So this is up to you what you would like to do with the incident reporting capabilities. And so in this case, we're going to select that we have an unsafe condition that we are reporting. And for anybody who maybe isn't up on the latest with cloud, of course, this is mobile enabled. So what we're seeing here on the computer is exactly what you would see on a cell phone or a tablet. So if an employee has an incident, they can just pull out their cell phone, go right in and report it here. So just going to enter some information here. of course, when I attempt to type into a demonstration, my typing is not as good as when I'm just typing for myself.
The pressure, Lila, right? I'll take
Yeah.
this opportunity to remind everyone, if you do have a question, you can use the question icon on your toolbar.
And so you can see that this is the information that is collected, you can say, as delivered out of the box. If there's other pieces of information that you would like to collect around an incident, that can certainly be added here. But this is the basic information. What was the incident? Where did it occur? Who did you tell about it? So in this case, get a drop down, and I'm going to search for my manager. In this case, we're going with Mandy, and then going ahead and submitting. We could, if I took photos, I could attach photos. If I had some kind of a report, whatever attachment I might have, I can add that to my incident report. So I think you can see that's pretty straightforward, and that's the process for reporting an incident in self-service as an employee. Now, if I want to go in as a health and safety manager, I can then come down here and I have safety incidents. So I can look at what all has been reported and how are we doing on tracking and following up on the incidents that we have. So notice on the left side, we can have all sorts of filters to reduce the list of incidents. So if I'm a sort of organization where we've got lots of incidents going on, I might want to reduce those. Note we have some selection, so I can reduce on level of severity, the type of event. So I have a variety of choices here for filtering on an incident. And note here, so we have events, we have investigations, and we have actions that are associated. And I like this building crane one. So let's take a look at this. We have a building crane hanging unsafely at the top of the building. And so that's our basic incident reported by Simon Gilbert. So we can indicate location information. We can note if there's any agencies that were notified. So there might be some governmental agencies that we have to address. So you have a variety of different categories. And if nothing else fits, we have notes where we could just put any additional notes that we might have around this particular incident. We can have individuals identified to review it, others who approve it, so that we make sure all the right people are notified and aware of the particular incident. So we then have our events. So in this case, we just have the one event that somebody noted the incident, that this building crane is hanging unsafely, but depending on the type of incident, there might be a series of events. And so you can add all of those here. There's no limitation on the number of events that you can note around a particular incident. And then if there is an incident, we probably want to do some sort of investigation. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Here we have the details of what did we do with this investigation. And then we have our questionnaire. So this might take a moment. Sometimes this has been a little bit slow, but let's try to open this up here. And while that is working, notice that we can also record any findings. So we conduct an investigation, we have general findings, we can kind of have overall findings, and again, we can note who's going to approve the investigation. So maybe they're going to say, wait a minute, I want you to do a couple more steps before I would consider the investigation complete. So we can indicate individuals to approve as well as final approvers. So here we are in the questionnaire. And this is decided by you. What all do we want to be asking about when a particular incident occurs? So you can decide what these questions are. If you want to give them a drop-down, answers to choose from, you can do that versus where we might have them just fill in information. We have some of those down here. But this is the questionnaire that we have right now. Sorry if I'm going through that a little too quickly, so let's go a little more slowly. So it was a mechanism of injury. What was the source? plant and equipment factors. And note you can also have attachments. So at any step of this, we can include photos, notes, investigation reports, whatever might have been captured around a particular incident that would be relevant for tracking the situation. Certainly if employees were injured, you probably want as much documentation as possible. So all of that can be captured here as part of capturing the incident and capturing the investigation. So let's see, and then we've got control factors that are being asked about. What about human factors? And communications, did we properly communicate? Did we give proper instructions? So all sorts of information that would allow you to assess where do you need to make improvements? Do you need to better communicate? Do you need to better train people? Do you need better signage? What needs to be done differently to ensure that this type of incident never occurs again? So that's what you're doing here with your investigation. And your questionnaire is determining what all you need to ask around the particular incident. All right, so that is our investigation. Hopefully not making anybody dizzy as I'm scrolling back up here. It is quite lengthy, but that's what you would want. You want to make sure you're capturing all the necessary details. And then actions. So what actions are we going to take? In this case, we don't have any. So let's add in some actions. So then we had a crane that was hanging loosely. So our action is secure the crane. Since I don't operate cranes, that's my best guess at what we're going to do if we have a crane that's hanging loosely. We're going to properly secure it. We can identify resources, so we contractors, we have employees, who all needs to be involved in this particular action. We can have an estimated cost to that, and then lessons learned. So these could be important to make sure that we're learning from the incidents and improving our process, improving procedures, improving communications so that we do not have repeats of these incidents in the future. And again, all the different notifications that might be associated with it to make sure that everyone is informed of what happened and what changes we've made to secure our workplace. Okay, so that's an example of an incident. And now let's go over here. If I go down to reporting, so under reporting, notice I have an absence and incidents dashboard. So let's go take a look at that.
And as you're doing that, I don't see any questions coming in. We have a quiet group today, Lila. If you do have a question, you can ask it on your question icon on your toolbar.
And we also certainly understand that sometimes people are a little more shy in groups. So certainly you can feel free to reach out to us afterwards if there's questions or you'd like to further discuss or you'd like some assistance with health and safety. We would love to talk to you more. So certainly feel free to reach out to us however you'd like. So on this dashboard, first of all, just if you want to look at your trending around absences, how are we doing? You also, if you hover over the particular bar, it gives you the details for each of the different colored sections of the bar. So that's kind of useful if you want to drill in a little bit, understand the information that you have. Here we have absences by location. So then we get down to health and safety incidents. So which locations? It looks like London's having some real problem with incidents, and so we might be more concerned. Or here we see actually Redwood City is outpacing London as far as the incidents. So, you know, if there's a location that's having a higher rate of incidents, probably means there's a little less supervision, a little less process in place, and probably a need to work with them a little bit more on ensuring they've got a properly secured environment. Then we have the reporting. So here you can see each of the different incidents that have been reported, the level of severity, the summary and description associated with the incident. So this allows you to really look at what's going on, look at what's been most recently reported, and get a sense of how things are going overall for the organization. So this is nice to have readily available. This dashboard comes delivered by Oracle, so nothing you need to do. It's there for you to use and gives you some good information on both absences as well as safety incidents that have been occurring. But certainly there's opportunity to drill in more, and Evosis specializes in doing analytics and dashboards, so we could help you with building out custom dashboards that would further allow you to look at some of the details and issues related to incidents within your organization. Now, as I mentioned, so for the most part, we were able to, it started me back at the beginning, so I'm going to quickly scroll through here. And then since we covered all of that, of course, this is here, so if we send you a copy of the presentation, you've got some of the screenshots that you can use. But now the other thing I want to talk about is digital assistance. So while we saw all that through self-service, an even easier method of allowing employees to report incidents would be utilizing a digital assistant that can guide them through the process, ask additional questions, and support the employee in a more effortless means of reporting an incident to the organization. And Evosis has an innovation group that has built out digital assistants for a variety of purposes. And for pretty much anything in self-service within Oracle, we have a digital assistant that would support that. So wanted to show you a little bit about that. And sorry, lost my cursor there for a moment. So just for a moment to talk about how the digital assistants work. So in this case, the one that we're looking at is health and safety. And so we have a digital assistant application. This is utilizing the same technology that Oracle utilizes for digital assistants. It reads the Cloud HR database in this particular example, but note our comment across the bottom. We do sometimes have people attend these webinars who are not on Oracle Cloud, and that's just fine, especially with digital assistants. We have the ability to make them work with whatever platform you're using. So if you're using one of the major vendors or another vendor that's out there, we can talk to them with our digital assistants and provide that same experience to your employees. We also support pretty much any messaging channel that you might prefer. So hopefully you recognize the logos here, but we've got WhatsApp, we've got Messenger, Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Skype. Does anybody use Skype anymore? Microsoft Teams, as well as using voice-based. So Alexa or Siri, you can utilize either of those as a way to interact. So whatever is the preferred or approved methods of messaging within your organization, we can utilize those for our digital assistant. And now here, I have a little video for you, so I'm going to let this play. And this is our COVID digital assistant. So in this case, we have a person named John who are asking him, do you want to be screened or are you reporting an incident? And here John is reporting an incident that people are not wearing masks in the office. So that has now been reported and would be logged as an incident in the database. Now we're coming back in, and this time John's going to use this for his daily screening. So if you are mandating that employees coming back to the workplace must go through a daily screening, this gives you the opportunity to accommodate that. We can ask whatever questions you would like. We've kind of put together a series of questions that we think are, in general, the types of things that would help you to determine if somebody potentially has COVID, but if you have different questions, those can be used as well. The wording or phrasing is totally up to you as well. We've got sample phrasing, but we can change it to whatever you would like to have. And in this case, we've gotten John's responses on his daily screening, and so we've completed that process. So just to show you that it's conversational, it's able to understand basic communications with an employee. can be done like this as text on their cell phone. They could have utilized Siri, Google Assistant, or Alexa and done it with voice activation instead, and that would have been just fine. So we're very flexible on the platform and the options we have for the digital assistant. Okay, and so just to talk a little bit more about options that we have. So if you have not yet put in health and safety and would like some help with that, we can help you with the basic setup, testing, and answering any questions that you might get from the organization in regards to utilizing health and safety. If you want somebody to come in and do the full implementation for you, we can take that on as well. So we can create an overall project and run the project and get health and safety up and running for you. So we have different options there. If you need support or if you want somebody to actually do full implementation, we're available for either of those. And then digital assistants. So we have a variety of digital assistants. We can give them to you for just reporting on incidents. You could use it for COVID, which has become very popular, or it could be for anything throughout self-service. So if you'd like to utilize a digital assistance for performance reviews, for compensation increases, whatever the application, we can help you to build the right digital assistance to support it. So feel free to reach out. Would love to talk with you more about digital assistant capabilities and what we could do for you within that area. Likewise, we also have some good experience with RPA, robotic process automation, which is a way to take processes that might be manual today and automate those. And so we've built out a number of RPA applications for our customers and could certainly help you with that as well. All right, so that comes to the end of the intended presentation. I know it didn't seem like we had much questions up until now. I don't know if we have any questions at this point, if there's anything anybody would like to discuss further. Let us know.
Again, if you have a question, you can ask via the question icon on your toolbar. I think it's important to recognize during these times, like you have tools in your arsenal to, while it's uncertainty out there, you do have some tools already in your suite that can help with those uncertainties like COVID and so forth. No questions, Lila. You must have done a fabulous job.
Yeah, a little bit of a lighter topic, not as much depth and detail to health and safety, but it's certainly important to be doing the right monitoring, tracking, and providing a vehicle for your employees to report if they have any concerns. So please let us know if you're just not comfortable talking on webinars. We've included our email addresses here at the bottom, so feel free to reach out to us. You should be receiving a copy of the presentation as well. And just let us know. We're happy to answer any questions, have any follow-up conversations, and assist you however you might need with either health and safety or anything else within Cloud HCM.
Very good. Thank you, Lila, and thank you all for attending this afternoon. We appreciate your time and attention. Have a great day.